Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohamad Zulfaqar Mohammed Ezhar from School of Management, metric number 150099. Would like to present my research on the relationship between employee motivation and employee engagement on employee performance among lecturers at Penang Matriculation College. The study of the relationship between employee motivation and employee engagement among lecturers at Penang Matriculation College is described in this chapter. Every organization requires audit and effective management. This is because efficient organizational management enables an organization to meet its objectives. The lecturers at Penang Matriculation College were used as respondents in this study to determine the extent of relationship of the employee motivation and employee engagement on their employee performance. Employee engagement increases employee loyalty and reduces the desire to quit the organization willingly, according to Hermawan et al. 2020. Problem statement. Strong employee performance is crucial for the organization to fulfill its objectives in today's period of growth. The age difference between a senior lecturer and a junior lecturer, on the other hand, is rather frequent. It typically occurs because of issues that cause the employee engaged, causing him or her to leave the company. Significance of study. The findings of this study will help society since there is a correlation between employee motivation and employee engagement and performance, because leadership plays such an important part in team success. The findings of this study will benefit society if a company's leadership is better. Its employee will work more as a team, and also this study will also investigate how self-esteem might help a team perform more successfully together. The task performance increases as a result. Research objective: to assess the impact of employee motivation on the lecturer's performance at Penang Matriculation College. And second one, to examine the impact of employee engagement among the lecturers' performance at Penang Matriculation College. Chapter 2, Literature Review. Employee performance, according to Suhartini 1995, is a mix of effort, ability, and job perception. High performance is a necessary step towards achieving company goals and objectives. As a result, efforts must be made to increase the staff performance. Employee performance is a crucial part of every company and the most essential determinant in the organization's success and performance. Employee engagement. Employee engagement is sometimes referred to be a psychological or affective condition that improves performance or attitudes among employees. By Messi et al. 2011. Ibra and Khan 2015 described is an endeavor by members of an organization to link themselves to their job. Employee motivation. Motivation is primarily intended to aid in the modification of behavior. It is a force that enables a person to act in the direction of a specific goal. According to Grant's 2008 Employee Motivation Study, motivation compels such outcomes as productivity, performance, and persistence. Reliability analysis. Only one instrument was utilized in this study, and the results were compared to another question or a measure of question-to-answer correlation. SPSS was used to analyze the reliability of the statistical Cronbach alpha test. A construction or variable is considered reliable if its alpha score is greater than 0.7, according to Imam 2005. Correlation. The data was subjected to a correlation test. The correlation coefficient may be calculated using this approach. The correlation coefficients have varied from -1 to 1, as the value of R approaches 1 to -1. It indicates that the independent variable and the independent variable have no connection. Positive correlation coefficients indicate that increasing the independent variable raises the value of the dependent variable, and vice versa. Statistical analysis. SPSS was used to analyze the information gathered. Respondents' gender, age, and other characteristics were examined using descriptive statistics such as percentages. Linear regression. The term R-squared or R2, or coefficient of determination, was developed by squaring the Pearson correlation coefficient R. The measure with a range of 0 to 1 is the proportion of the variability in Y that can be explained by the variability in X through their linear link with a range of 0 to 1. In other words, R2 equals to SS regression divided by SS total, with SS tending for sum of squares. In a linear regression study, R2 is determined just using the Pearson correlation coefficient. The level of significance. In this study, the significance level for all statistical analyses are predetermined. In hypothesis testing, the 0.05 significance threshold was utilized to make a decision on whether or not to reject them. During the hypothesis testing technique, the 5 steps were considered to evaluate whether the null hypothesis should be rejected or not, and the F statistic for ANOVA and the t-value for correlation were utilized. When the significant p-value derived from SPSS was less than, then the H null was discarded. Fail to reject H null when significant more than p. Chapter 4. Data Analysis and Results. This section summarizes the study's conclusions based on statistical data analysis and hypothesis testing. The features of respondents' profiles will be the focus on the first portion of this chapter. There will also be studies such as reliability analysis, correlation testing, and linear regression analysis. Profile of respondent. A total of 40 questionnaires, 56 responses were gathered. According to figure 1.1, there were 56 total respondents. Female accounts for 73.2% of the total, or 41 out of 56 respondents, and males made up to 15% of those who took part in the survey, or 26.8%. When it comes to respondents' ages, the majority of them fall into the category of 30 and under, accounting for 15 or 37.5% of the total. Reliability analysis. One of the tests conducted in this study was the reliability test on multi-item instrumentals. The consistency of the items used to measure each variable was assessed using Cronbach's alpha. According to the table above, 2 variables of Cronbach's alpha value was significantly higher than 0.7, namely engagement and motivation, which were 0.768 and 0.850 respectively. Cronbach's alpha of 0.7 was deemed acceptable, according to Nunnally and Bernstein 1994. As a result, it denotes inter-item consistency because the test reliability was so high and none of the elements were removed. Descriptive analysis. The mean and the standard deviation values for the dependent and independent variables are shown in Table 8. Motivation has the highest mean, which is 4.1205, according to the results. The findings suggest that motivation has the most influence on employee performance. This is due to the fact that the highest score, 0.514, was obtained when compared to the other variable, which is engagement. H1. Motivation and employee performance have a positive and significant link. The result for H1 indicates that the motivation has a significant positive relationship with employee performance. As a result, the hypothesis is accepted. The level of employee engagement can help them perform better. The R2 value for H2 is 0.230 with an adjusted R2 value of 0.215, and the value of F is 0.16. As a result, it has been accepted as the hypothesis. Chapter 5. Result and Discussion. The findings of the study are examined and discussed in this chapter. The chapter opens with a summary of the study goals and findings. After that, there will be a description of the variance of each variable studied as well as the result of the hypothesis test, which will be compared to past research findings. Discussion of findings. The hypothesis testing discusses about linear regression analysis. Hypothesis 1. Employee motivation has a favorable impact on their performance. Hypothesis 2. A higher level of employee engagement leads to higher levels of employee performance. The implications of this study should be carefully examined in order to gain a better understanding of the factors that influence lecture performance at PENANG Matriculation College. Finally, it demonstrates that employee motivation and employee performance have a negative connection. One hypothesis, however, is accepted. A higher level of employee engagement leads to higher levels of employee performance. Limitation and suggestion for future research. First, the number of people who responded is restricted. It only covered 56 people, and the departments are in disarray. In the future, more respondents are needed, and the questionnaire must be circulated widely within each department. It is critical to acquire a better understanding. Second, the purpose of this study is to learn more about the link between employee motivation, employee engagement, and employee performance. Other elements may have an impact on team performance. To gain a better understanding of the issue of employee performance, more research into identifying and understanding other factors will be beneficial. In conclusion, the study investigates how motivation and engagement may affect employee performance. The data analysis and interpretation revealed that employee motivation at work had a significant impact on Penang Matriculation College employees' performance.